And welcome everybody back to our Pitch Perfect pod. Today it's just the two of us, so I am Kiki, one of the co-hosts, and of course we are here with Elaine, part of the original Perfect. Yeah, so we don't really have anything in particular planned today, as far as I'm aware, but we will just kind of have a conversation about Flesh and Blood as this past week has gone. Of course, there's been a lot of big events that have come up, and yeah, we've had a little bit of exciting times with Flesh and Blood and the emergency ban, of course, as well. So, welcome everyone. Firstly, how are you?
I'm
How are you
okay.
doing?
I just woke up. I'm tired. It's been like a busy week. I didn't play any fab this week. I was supposed to go to Armory yesterday, but I just wasn't feeling well, so I didn't go. Um Tonight, however, I am playing some Flesh and Blood because I get to play the game for our little fundraiser for the Trevor Project League. So I'm kind of excited for that. I don't know. It's like I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm like, oh, I get to play my first like RXPL game. This is kind of fun, kind of exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for it. I am not getting an international experience with my one. I'm playing against one of the players in my own city. May, she top aided in our season 2. So I'm actually going to go over to her place and we're going to play it live and like in person rather than on camera. So it's just like playing with a friend. Um, but I'm very excited to be playing Verdant's deck. I haven't updated it. I was supposed to today, but considering it's like 1 o'clock in the morning now, probably not going to because I have to go to Armory as well tomorrow. Um, but that's all right, you know. I'm just really excited to play more Verdant's games. I'm not going to be able to kind of do the more modern kind of Verdant stuff with the defensive kind of game plan that they're currently on. But that's okay. I do love a good mid-range deck with like the 2-card 6s and all that. So that's probably, hopefully, how my game's gonna go. But yeah, no, I'm very excited for the shoutouts to actually participate in something that we're running. You know, last year, I think I called Max Ferocity,
Mm-hmm.
our friend Rachel. I somehow got on like a little like feud with her during last year's
Yes.
event, and we ended up playing for a pizza as the prize. So yeah, no, I'm in short excited to play in the league, and we have like some new players as well that haven't played in our
Yeah.
leagues before. So still constantly growing, even though it's a smaller event. I'm very excited for it. And to talk trash because I
I
love that.
believe my opponent is someone new, so I'm excited to like play her, meet her, and
Mm-hmm.
like just get to play some Flesh and Blood. I am so busy this time of year that I just like haven't been able to play or go to armories like I am
Mm-hmm.
used to being able to do or was able to do over the summer. And so like I'm excited that this little league is kind of forcing me into like dedicating at least sometime once a week to play some Flesh and Blood. Um, but how exciting also that you just get to go play with May in person. Do you already have the cards for your Verdance deck?
It's kind of funny. So like, I'm missing, I think, a small handful of cards. At this point, it might be like 3. I'm like missing one Destructive Ethertide, which is like a Majestic from the current set. I'm missing one Felling of the Crown. Since I've sold my cold foil one, so I don't have that. I just haven't even touched it. But it's gonna help with
Yeah.
Japan, so you know, it was worth it. But it does mean I still need another copy. I'm missing a Metacarpus nodes. So like my deck has these random like paper proxies, black and white proxies in them. And then of course like I only own one Heart of Yendel, and it's cold foil. So there's just like a cold foil Heart of Yendel in my deck amongst these proxies.
That is chaos at its finest.
Mhm, mhm. But you know, yeah, I have most of the deck though. Not including any
Yeah.
changes I want to make, but it is something I'm considering for Worlds.
I don't
So
have my deck. I it's October 4th, and I am more and more stressed out
Mhm.
as every day passes that I'm like, I'm going to Japan in less than a month. I just feel like so unprepared. Like I'm so stressed out for it because I just barely have time to do anything, much less prep for Japan. Um, n- not that, not that I am regretting going. I'm super excited to go. But it's just like things
Mhm.
like getting a deck together, and I really want to cosplay, but I haven't even had time to start a cosplay. And so if I cosplay, I don't think I have the time to do what I originally wanted to do. So I want to, and that, see, even in my language, like I'm getting to the point where it's like if I cosplay, because I just have so much to do. I don't even know what's a possibility at this point. Um, Hi.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, no, for sure. Which events are you signed
Well,
up
that's the other thing.
for Japan?
None currently.
Not. I was gonna say like the
I
packages
know,
and stuff are like
I know.
disappearing
Today,
quickly.
you know what? This weekend I'm gonna get that. Maybe when we hang up. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow, definitely tomorrow. Text me tomorrow. Don't let me forget to do that because I keep being like, I need to do that. I keep remembering, and then it keeps slipping away from me, and then someone brings it up, and then I'm like, gonna, yeah, I'm gonna vomit because I keep forgetting to do that.
I am notoriously the same. Like my friend invited me to their wedding. My friends, I'm friends with both of them, have invited me to their wedding, and like a few months ago now. And every few weeks or so, they're just like, "Do we send you an invite?" I'm like, "Yes, you sent me an invite. I just haven't RSVP'd yet, even though I've already like talked to my partner. We both agreed we're gonna go, and we're both excited for it. I just haven't literally pressed the RSVP button." Um, Same kind of deal. Like I've committed to it in my mind, but physically doing it is just not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, I really need to do it though. But really,
Mhm.
by the time this
Hey, worst case
episode
scenario,
comes
if I did.
out, I'll have done it. I'm making that promise.
Okay.
Making that promise. Before
Yeah.
I edit this video, I'll do it.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say, like, worst case scenario, if I do poorly at Worlds, we can just go around interviewing
We're just
people or
gonna do
something.
like big gorilla content or whatever it's called. It's like gorilla,
Yeah.
gorilla. There's
I've
a
never heard this
phrase.
phrase before. Like, I don't
There's a
know what you're
phrase.
talking about.
It's
Like,
like gorilla. Gorilla coverage? Is that it?
it,
I think it's like gorilla coverage where you just show
maybe?
up at an event and you're just like streaming with your own equipment. I think that's a phrase.
Right. I thought it was gonna be something along the lines of, like, we just, like, rock up to various fab plays, be like, so what do you do for a job? Like, how
Oh,
much do you pay for rent? That kind of
like those
short form
yeah,
content
those
that appears all
content.
the time. Yeah.
Oh,
So how much did you pay for
I
your deck?
Googled gorilla
Um,
coverage and I've been given an insurance company that's named Gorilla. Hmm.
mm.
Okay, so maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Uh, but we could do that. We could do that. Like those guys or those content creators that walk around and it's like, how much do you pay for rent in New York City? Can we see your apartment? We could do that.
How much do you spend on
Yeah.
fab in a
Yes.
week? Can we
Yes.
see
Yes.
your deck? There we go. Did we just accidentally? Nobody steal that
Nobody steal
idea
that
before we
idea
do it.
before we do. I will copyright it before I publish this episode.
But
But
after you
after
sign up
I
for
sign up
events,
for events,
before.
yeah. So before this episode comes out, I need to sign up for events first, and then copyright how much you spend on Fab in a week. Can we see your deck? And then, yeah, edit the episode and publish it. I actually think that would be kind of. I would watch those videos. I would watch that part. That I would watch that short term. Should we show our collection? That'd be cool. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's something we could do. Yeah.
Sorry.
Mm. That's okay. No, no, no. we're pondering, we're thinking.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Ish.
I love looking at people's collections. I don't know if other people enjoy looking at that. Did I show you my nails, Kiki?
I've been seeing them as you've been like, I love
They're
them.
like
Oh my goodness.
French manicure,
Cats.
but they're cats. Sorry, I can't remember if I texted you a picture of them.
No, you're good. I think I saw them on Twitter, probably.
Yeah.
Are they your actual nails?
No. They could have been, but they weren't all long enough. Like they weren't even.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just cut them and put fake ones on there.
Yeah. I mean, they look really clean. They look really good. Mine are messy as hell, and I'm in the process of starting to reshape them since I had to cut them all down. It'll take a while, but it's okay. They're like very slightly
Yours are
stabby.
natural, huh?
And yeah, they're like not that long at the moment.
I need to give, yeah.
But they are.
You have very pretty natural nails, though. All right.
Thank you.
Well.
So flesh and blood. We do have our small little segment where we talk about our little community and what they've done across the week in the public. So our little shout out section, I guess. So on a more serious note, in regarding to this, Ellie has done a fantastic job putting herself out there as of late. She's been doing commentary, she's been doing writing for I think Wraith Times, and recently she's just been invited to write for the Flesh and Blood website. And I put up the wrong link on my little notes page here, but she did an article on, or a little writing on, game planning in Flesh and Blood, so that's very exciting. I have read it a couple times now. Just kind of get over the topic she talks about and like the different styles of decks in Flesh and Blood. So it's a really cool kind of article that kind of is really useful for players that are like getting into the game or sorry, I just noticed that Rhea also had an article in the same series a couple months ago. Yeah, so anyway, it's a great article just to kind of get into the game, show to your friends that are new to the game. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it yet or not as well.
I do see videos.
But yeah, no. So we could probably put a link to that down in the description below if you haven't already read it yourself or seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing, on a less serious note, speaking of Rhea, segue, is that she called out the card Count Your Blessings not that long ago on Twitter, claiming that should anyone top 8 an event, a reasonably sizable event, with Count Your Blessings, then she would eat a copy on stream. And then this past weekend, we had 9 copies of Count Your Blessings in the top 4 of the calling. And therefore, she is eating a Count Your Blessings on the stream. And the thumbnail is great. She does not look very impressed, very happy about it. She does have a selection of sauces. So, at least it'll hopefully taste good. So I believe the video is up. I did start briefly watching it. Okay, I did just skip to the part where she, I think she's...
Is she doing a taste test with all the different sauces? Have you ever eaten a Flesh and Blood card before?
Well, you know, I've never eaten a trading card game at all. No.
Well, I don't know. I feel like everyone's just
surprised?
like chewed on a token here or there, but
Everyone.
I don't know.
Last week I talked about
broccoli
eating
man.
Yeah, and then I got scolded by both of you.
Because you're vegan, and that is a man.
Okay, so I'll need to find some sort of
something with no. What's a card you could eat? There is a card you could eat. There's tons of cards you could eat.
I mean, like, just eat like a weapon or something that's not like
what's
a being.
That sigil.
I can't eat crickets either.
Can you eat that? Yeah, it's just like a rock with some vines on it or something, right?
I guess so. The sodium content might be quite high if it's a rock.
Well, sigil fiendal. Yeah, it's just like a rock with some plants and some moss and some flowers. I don't know if they're poisonous.
You know, if anyone has ideas on what I should eat, put them below.
Vegan friendly rap card. Oh, sigil of cycles. That's just like a wheat field.
Bread. I can do bread.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's tons of cards you could eat. It's just like cards with just like plants on.
But no people.
That's why like fertile ground I think is questionable, because that one's like, it's a face. We can't tell if the ground just looks like a face or if like there's a or if the ground is alive as in the form of a man.
Yeah.
So.
These are kind of the important questions in Flesh and Blood, you know? Like, how sentient is your ground?
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just curious. Maybe I have to go watch Rhea's video. I wonder if they're better with sauces.
It's 20 minutes long. Like, you can do that in between applying for events in Japan and applying for a copyright for how much you spend on Fab in a week. Can you show us your deck?
Yeah. Okay, perfect. I have my weekend planned.
The best part is before this, you're like, yeah, I've got such a busy day. I'm doing this.
Well, I can't do this today. I can do this tomorrow. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
What a great start. In case it wasn't clear, this is very kind of... I somewhat came up with ideas for a plan for this, but like, really, no. But on the other hand, though, I did have a conversation with somebody who is excited to be a guest, so I'll bring that up to you off camera at some point.
We're thinking about doing a little like on week off week type of deal with as far as guests go. So like last week we had Sophia on. Hopefully you listened to that. Sophia was a great guest and I really enjoyed that episode. And then this week it's just the two of us, and then maybe next week we'll have a guest and then the two of us, and just like alternate. Let us know how you feel about that.
I wonder how we're gonna do this in Japan, now that I think about it. Like, it's gonna be hard to do anything within that week, 2 week period. I don't know how long you're in Japan for. I'm there for 10 days.
6.
Nice. You're just mainly there for the event kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. I was trying to plan out my sleep schedule last night for Japan. I haven't booked anything, but I was trying to plan out my sleep schedule. Because I was like, okay, on the way back, I need to knock myself out on the plane because I land at 10 a.m. and then I will be in class until 6 p.m. that same day. So
have you considered taking that day off?
No, because I'm already taking the other days off for school and I really can't miss. It's really missing classes is it's really difficult for me. Yeah, so I am like, okay, so I need to knock myself out on the plane so that I can go to class that same day when I get back from Japan. Because I gotta go just like from the airport, drop my bags off, and then go to class. I'm an insane person. Oh my God. But the problem is, so and then I leave from class. I'm going from class to the airport because I get out of class at 6, and then my flight is at midnight. So I need to like run home,
Yeah.
get my stuff, get changed into my airport garb, attire, I guess. Comfy airport clothes. Change into my
Airport garb. It sounded somewhat Renaissance fair like, and then you throw in the word airport in front of it.
Into my airport garb, and then go to the airport and get on a plane, and I leave at midnight. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be ready to go to sleep. However, if I sleep on that plane, I'll land in Japan in the middle of the night. I don't know. So then I think maybe if I stay up for like 4 hours and knock myself out again, then wake up at like a reasonable time in Japan, then I'll be fine. But I'll just have slept like a lot. However, the problem is that like I'm gonna have work. I'm gonna need to get work done. And I'm also supposed to like log on and take a test during this time. But I think I don't know where I'll be in Japan, time zone wise, when the test happens that I need to log on and take. So I'm like, what if I'm in the airplane and it's like, I don't know.
Do you have to take the test at that time exactly?
Anyway,
I could just in-flight Wi-Fi.
Not take it and get a 0, which is less than ideal. But either way, it's gonna be fine. Regardless, I'm like, I need to stay on top of my sleep schedule, but I also need to make sure that I'm awake in increments long enough that I can actually get work done, because I already know I'm gonna have a bit of work to get done while I'm in Japan, just to stay on top of things. But I'm also like been trying to stay pretty ahead of my work currently to prep for Japan. And I have been staying fairly ahead of my work, but it's also very exhausting, and that's causing me to have no time to like prep cosplays and decks for Japan. Anyway, stay in school. Life is stressful. My little rant. I was just like trying to plan out, like last night I was legit trying to plan out. I was like, okay, if I sleep this long on the plane and then do homework for this long and then sleep this long and then work for this long and then like do this, I think I can like adjust fine with the time zone and still be good to go straight to class when I get back. I was like, I'm really mathing this out. And then also like the chances that my body actually is just like, okay, it's time to go to sleep, it's the sleep time, is I say it's pretty rare. I say like, oh, the chances that I'll actually just go to sleep right when I'm scheduled to go to sleep is low. However, it's probably actually not that low, because that's kind of what I do now anyway. And I can like knock out like that. So it'll all be fine. It'll all work out.
If anyone can do it, it's you. You're one of the busiest people I know. Every time I think that I've got too much on my plate, I just talk to you, and you're just like, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm like, okay.
Everything's fine. We're gonna have to do like a fun little vlog while we're in Japan. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fun little vlog.
I need to delete stuff off my phone to make sure I can record things. Maybe.
Yeah, we're just gonna... Yeah, just using phones, I guess. I don't have a camera.
Yeah. Neither.
I don't know how, like... I was about to say real content creators. We're real content creators. We are real content
we are
creators.
real.
I don't know how other content creators like have film stuff on the go. Like I just straight up don't have the equipment to do that. And quite honestly, I wouldn't even know what equipment is needed to do that.
I remember at the first Worlds, Carolina was being interviewed, and I went and joined and hung out with them and stuff. And they had so much more gear than us having phones. Like, they had, like, I think a soundboard-like thing, maybe? Which I don't have now, let alone traveling with me.
How do you even travel with all that? Like, I would be so stressed out.
I don't know.
I'd be so stressed out.
Did you see Ethan's tweet about how much stuff he brings along with him
Well,
to events?
Ethan is just like
his streaming stuff.
Ethan is incredible. Ethan is incredible and like so smart with this stuff. I just don't think I will like ever be on his level. I have so much respect. No, that's not our vibe. Like, I'm putting on like eye cream right now. This is that's.
I didn't click for a moment. I was just like, oh yeah, we're just having a chat. Of course you're gonna do this now. Forgetting that this is going to be like edited.
Yeah, you know, it did click. It was just sitting on my counter, and I was like, oh, I just saw it and got distracted and grabbed it. Until you just said that too. I'm like, oh, yeah, people are gonna see me doing this. It's fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
I'm doing my morning routine on camera because I actually have to leave my house like 20 minutes after we shut off this recording, and I am still in my pajamas, so or this is efficient.
So here you are. Just give me the title of the episode.
Get ready.
Pitch Perfect.
Get ready
with me.
Pitch Perfect. Get ready with me. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. We will be doing like a little vlog at Worlds for sure. I think that will be fun, and it'll also be our first time meeting in person. So yeah, but it won't be that fancy. It will not be Ethan's standard. That is way above. That is way above me on every level. Yeah. I actually think we had one more fun announcement for women in Fab this week and gender minorities in Fab this week. But this one is particularly
of course, yes. So in the calling Lyon, we had 8 women heroes in the top 8. So once again, those 8 women heroes in the top 8.
Just something fun.
Yeah. Like, you know, these are all women that are important to us. They may not be physically real in our world, but we did have 4 Enigmas, an Azalea, an Aurora, a Prism, and a Verdant.
Hey, I was about to say that there's 2 of your girls up there. The girlies are girling. Yeah.
The girlies are girling. There's no Dash and there's no Shiana, but you know, 2 of the 4 ain't bad. Yeah, kind of exciting. There's a lot of kind of representation of these kind of Rosetta heroes everywhere, like in Tokyo. Just skipping aside, there's Florian and Aurora. And then the Milwaukee, there was Verdance as well. So like the Earth heroes in particular and Aurora are doing really well and constructed.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I like where constructed is at right now, because I don't really think like with past sets like Rosetta, these heroes are doing well and they're top 8ing, and I also think that's just because, like, I don't think they're like dominant over the meta like we've seen when heroes come out in the past, and they're just like kind of like broken. Like, I feel like they're still really balanced and people are playing them because they just genuinely like the hero and not because the hero is particularly more busted than other heroes. I like where the meta's at right now. I like what that Rosetta is just like adding to the meta rather than completely dominating it. Yeah.
Yes. It's not like the Zen meta games we've seen in the past or anything, or things like that. Starvo,
Looking at you, Starvo.
We're in one of those like.
I said, looking at you,
Sorry?
Starvo.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
These elemental heroes, awful. That was a joke. I love them. But yeah, we're in like this sort of wide metagame at the moment where there's a lot of viable decks, and as somebody who is playing in Worlds, I'm struggling with that. Trying to find a deck that I like that can have enough good matchups, I guess. I don't know. I've been playing Fab today, which is weird. It's not something I normally do, which is odd for somebody who's so involved in Fab. But I was playing Flesh and Blood this evening on Talishar as Prism, and I had an idea for Prism as to how I want to tackle the metagame, and frankly, it didn't work out. It was awful, and I'm just like, well, now I don't know what to play, like, because I've been trying Verdance, been trying Prism, and I've been looking into Enigma. I haven't given that a go yet, but I've been meaning to. But yeah, like with Worlds being roughly 3 weeks away, like I am very not prepared for this at all. Drafting wise, I'm also not very good at that, which is not great. Yeah. But I've been watching people draft, and that's kind of how I'm tackling it.
Yeah, I'm just going to Worlds as like a ball of chaotic energy, but you are playing in Worlds. You are a Worlds qualifier, Worlds player. How are you feeling?
I'm stressed. Just, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do on these events, but that's okay. Somebody did well with Prism last weekend, and maybe I can just copy their list. I mean, the one I was working with is actually kind of similar to this, which is not a good sign for me because I was not feeling confident about it. Actually, maybe.
Have you been
maybe
getting like a lot of like testing into a diverse hero range, or what kind of testing have you been able to do?
So, like, locally, it hasn't been super diverse. There's been a lot of Rune Blades. I'm expecting Rune Blade to be pretty strong anyway, with Aurora and Florian both being good choices, and, like, what's his name? Viscerai. Also being maybe a reasonable pick. I was watching some Viscerai players playing today, and the deck did kind of seem to have promise, so maybe those will be, like, big metagame shares. Verdance is doing better than I kind of expected her to be doing, so that might be the go. She might actually be the go over Prism for me personally, but we'll see. Oh, this Verdance list doesn't have a Heart of Yendel. I don't have to bring mine if that's the case. How exciting.
Your cold foil heart.
Yeah. I mean, I could anyway, but like if I was ever to lose that bag, it would be atrocious for me. Yeah, my main testing thing has been limited because that's what I struggle with the most, and I can kind of hopefully fumble my way through Classic Constructed somewhat. I'm just like glad that this time there's no Blitz to have to deal with as well, compared to the first time I went to Worlds. But yeah, I'm mainly going to Worlds for like the vibes, I guess. And by that I mean to like meet all my friends internationally, or see my friends internationally that I don't get to see very often.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm mainly going. I'm not really expecting to be world champion or anything. I'll leave that to the Yukis of the world.
Yukis of the world. You could do it. I have faith that you could take down a big event. You're a very good player.
I've never won a big event. I've come second and ninth numerous times. Specifically second and ninth. So I'm like always the bridesmaid. Sometimes I'm not even in the bridal party.
Yeah, but yeah, that doesn't mean that you couldn't do it though.
No, that's true.
Somebody's got to do it.
in the case of Worlds, I'm just going to assume that there's more than 8 people that are more than prepared than me. But you never know. You never know. Oh. All right, we're recording. Keeping on with talking about Fab and stuff. There was an emergency ban this week. Kraken's Aether Vein, just again on the topic of verdants as well. Kraken's Aether Vein is the very first card to get banned in the Living Legend format, which is a big deal. I guess you can't really restrict a weapon to one because that's what they kind of are already. But this is coming off last weekend, I believe, in Milwaukee, in the Living Legend side event they had, where a Verdant's hero was able to draw roughly 1 billion cards, give or take, and then deal a reasonably sizable amount of damage with their fire breathing and the infinite cards they could pitch. So yeah, kind of interesting, exciting that we've got an actual card banned in Living Legend, the format renowned for not having bans as of yet.
Yeah, I didn't really see this. I did see like I was telling Kiki before we started recording, I've opened Twitter 2 or 3 times this week, and each time for like a max of 4 minutes. Most of the time I don't even get a scroll, I just open it and then close it. And but I did see a screen grab on Twitter of a Cracker Aether Vein with like a dice on 1 million damage, and I was like, it was just a very high number, and I was like, huh? And I clicked on it, and someone in the replies said that like, oh, they did like 100+ damage in this turn, and I was like, I don't know what this is from. And then the next thing I know, so I thought it was like, I don't know, I just kind of thought it was like a meme, and then the next thing I know, we have this emergency BNR, and they're like, it's done, it's out of here. So yeah, really interesting. Living Legend has some banned cards. We broke something, and LSS said no.
It's kind of funny. So the player it happened to is the renowned Summer from Rainbow Pitch League fame. Not really. I mean, we did showcase her, and she was our most liked player profile this last season.
But Summer's just great. People just love Summer. Yeah, that's it.
She's fantastic. So stoked that she's also going to be in Japan. But she is claiming credit for the ban on the basis that she was the opponent at the time. And there's like an image of her just looking distraught at how big this fire breathing was. Yeah, shout out to her. Great Twitter account if you ever like shit posts, which you should.
We should have included that in our spotlights for the week. Summer got Summer caused the first ban in Living Legend format.
Yeah, that's groundbreaking. Powerful stuff. Woman can do anything.
That glass ceiling. Shattered.
Surely by being the opponent in the situation, you know? You gotta really play it off and just make sure that you're looking like you're emotionally distraught, so that the great acting, basically, is what I'm getting at. I think they also pronounced Pro Tour the next Pro Tour location. I forgot what it was.
I did see that.
London, there we go,
last night I saw that. London. When is that?
Good question. Let's just quickly go onto the internet, as if we aren't already, and quickly check that for y'all. The Dash deck is coming out soon as well, and that's going to be exciting. I expect her to be pretty good, but I did beat one today, So,
Oh.
Um, is this the right article? It is in April 10th to 13th.
No way I'm
How
going
exciting.
to that.
So, if you do well at Worlds, you could be on your way to London. You can get yourself fish and chips.
Oh, that is my favorite food in the world. That's it.
Is that something that exists readily
No.
accessible for you?
No, it doesn't. Well, Gordon Ramsay has a restaurant in Times Square that sells fish and chips. It's way overpriced, but it's it does hit the spot when I want fish and chips. But I just love fish and chips. Like if I see that on a menu, I'm ordering it. Actually, sorry, that was so dramatic.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was in
I
Salem this
understand.
past weekend, and they're a little fishing town, and they had fish and chips, and I ate it every meal. Every restaurant. I was like, fish and chips, please. Fish and chips. Potatoes fish. I'm no way I'm going to Pro Tour London, unfortunately, if it's in April. I graduate in May, so
Yeah,
it's just gonna be I don't
just
think I can travel next semester as I do my capstone, and that's gonna be a lot of work. Anything goes down. Oh, but how beautiful. London is great. I was thinking about going to London next weekend, but I'm not gonna do that.
Next weekend? It's just like, I'm just gonna pop over to London real quick.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
how?
Because I am irresponsible. Anyway,
I suppose you did agree to go to Japan and book tickets to Japan and then not actually book any events for why you're in Japan in the first place.
Japan, we are vibing.
Yes. You did book it after I said I was going, to be fair.
Second of all, I did. Yeah, second of all, we're vibing. I think that's the only 2 points I had.
So we're vibing and we're vibing.
Second of all, and I was like, I don't have another. I have no other. I have no other excuse. We're vibing and we're vibing. Yeah. But
you could have been like, I've always wanted to see Japan.
I've been to Japan, but I've never been to Osaka. Yeah. Well, first of all, we're vibing. Second of all, I wanted to go to Japan, and I've never been to Osaka. And I love Japan. The other set, the next set, is it 14 or 15? What set are we on? Have we had that many sets?
I don't know. I would be able to look at. Actually, I can't.
Set 14? Set 15. Reveal. I don't know. The world premiere weekend though is Yuki had tweeted and said that the world premiere was on her birthday, and she was like, I have to go. I guess I have to go. It's on my birthday. And Yuki and I have the same birthday, as it would turn out. So the world premiere is also on my birthday. So yeah, if the world premiere is successful, maybe that'll be a little birthday trip. But that's something that was announced also, is that the world premiere is on my birthday. Well, it's a
birthday weekend. So if you're listening, Legend Story Studios, this is my plea for you to run another premiere in New Zealand, specifically that one. Because not only is it Yuki's and Elaine's birthday that weekend, but it's mine the next. So if you get all of us to be in the same place for like a week, that would be great.
We would love that. We would love that.
Yeah. And for y'all, you don't even have to travel very far. You can stay in New Zealand. Like, y'all being LSS.
Yeah, for y'all, LSS. January, set 15, world premiere, January 17th through the 19th. Where is it? Maybe that wasn't
Wellington, New
announced.
Zealand.
Maybe I just didn't know it was on my birthday until Yuki said it was on her birthday, and we have the same birthday. So
Well, the announcement is now that the world knows when Yuki's birthday is, roughly.
yeah,
And now your
yeah.
birthday, roughly.
Well,
that's the real announcement.
Sorry, Yuki, but you did tweet it, so I guess it's okay. And I did respond and say it's also on my birthday.
Yeah, so you both doxed yourselves. In which case, I don't think that's a doxing. I think
Yeah,
that's just
two
fun.
doxing makes an undoxing.
Just real quick, did I ever tell you about like my history with fish and chips? Just
You
because we were
have a
talking about it
history
before.
with fish and chips? Aren't you a vegan?
Kind of. Yeah. Well, I've only been vegan for 10 years.
I was saying,
I say only as if a decade isn't a long time.
For 10 years is a long time. Anyway,
So you know how like people have bad dreams, and you know some people have like a dream that recurs every so often, and like it like affects them, so on and so forth. My dreams are very mundane, like they're very basic, simple. It's basically just an everyday life kind of thing. But roughly once a year, I will dream about eating fish and chips, and it'll be the most delicious thing I've had in my life, which is wild because I didn't like fish and chips growing up. Like, we'd have it every week, and I'd be like bored of it. I'm like, oh, it's just greasy fish and it's slightly crispy. And I mean, it sounds great now, but I mean, like at the time, if you're doing it every week, it's kind of like, oh, okay, sure. But yeah, so roughly once a year, I have a dream where I eat fish and chips, and it's delectable and an amazing experience. And then because my dreams are so mundane and like realistic, I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, did I just do that? Am I? And then I realize I'm still in bed. I'm like, oh no, never mind. I'm still vegan. It's okay. But yeah, like a recurring quote unquote nightmare of mine is eating fish and chips, and it happens about once a year, and has been for the last 10 years.
That's hilarious, and it reminds me of this. I went to high school with a girl who was a vegetarian, but like in like 7th grade, she was like the biggest meat eater that I knew. You know, like I pull out goldfish and I'm eating goldfish as a snack in class. She's pulling out a rack of like ribs and eating that in class. Like she just was a big meat eater, particularly ribs. And then she went vegan in like 8th grade and vegetarian and stayed vegetarian through high school. And then senior year, she threw it out the window. She started eating meat again. And we were like, what happened? And she said that she had a recurring dream about ribs, and every now and then she would wake up in the middle of the night and go eat ribs. Like actually, like she would be dreaming about it and wake up and then go do it and then go back to bed, and then she'd wake up in the morning and be like, what's that? Did I actually get up and eat ribs? And then sometimes she did get up and eat ribs, and sometimes it was just a dream. So then she was like, it's pointless because I can't stop. I can't fight the ribs. Anyway, that's you with fish and chips?
That's
it's
wild.
Just...
Well, I've never woken up.
Well, right, but like, it's the thing that haunts you?
Yeah. And it's like, again, not the thing I miss most about being non-vegan. It's not my favorite meat ever. For what it's worth, it's salmon.
Salmon is good.
Not battered fish. Yeah. It'd be like salmon and then fried chicken as like my tier order.
I like fried chicken too. I'm a big seafood eater. Yeah, big chicken. I'm like, I can't eat red meat. Like I'm allergic to red meat. It'll make me very sick. Or like any mammals, really. So I just eat like fish and birds. And fish and chips, like, why are fish and chips so good? They're just delicious. And like you said, it's just kind of like greasy, slightly crispy, battered fish. Yeah, no.
But now we're both thinking like, yeah, I can go for that right now.
With the like with the when you squeeze the lemon on top. Mm,
Tartare
yeah.
sauce is like
That's not vegan
my
either, is it?
no, not normally. There are some that are
Is there vegan
nowadays.
fish? Well, I know like yeah, like
Like
an
as like is
alternative,
there an
like a mock,
alternative
yeah.
kind of thing? So the most common one that people use is a product called banana blossom, which I think is like the flower from like a banana plant. I'm not actually sure what it is exactly. Um, but it's got the same sort of like stringy texture. This is what my hands are doing, yeah. Um, but it tastes a lot sweeter than normal fish, so you have to like brine it for a long time.
Mm.
Not something I'm willing to do at home by myself, for myself. But there are some restaurants that do it, and some of them are great, and some of them are great except for that product.
Interesting.
So it's yeah. There's also alternatives. Like I think there was one that was made out of pea protein from like this fast food joint that existed in my city. They've closed now, and that was kind of my go-to. Every time I had this dream, I would just go to that restaurant the next day and eat vegan fish and chips and be like, okay, I'm satiated. I don't
Yeah,
need this
yeah.
anymore.
That's like there's a place in New York who makes a really good Impossible Burger, and like I will sometimes just like crave a greasy burger, but I can't eat that. Um, and for years I never had like a good substitution until I found this place. And now when I crave a greasy burger, it's like, oh, it's so nice just to be able to like you said, kind of satisfy that craving. Just be like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need this. Well, I don't need it because I had it.
I'm actually so concerned about. Yeah, I was saying I don't know what I'm going to eat.
I was about to ask that. Like when you travel to other countries, I feel like in some like in New York you'd be fine. It's pretty easy to find vegan options. But like if you went to like Louisiana where I'm from, you would not be fine. There's not like a ton of vegan options.
No.
So I like how do you kind of plan ahead of time? Do you like look up vegan options next to where you're staying?
Yeah, there's like a few. Well, one of my things in traveling, because food is like something that's fairly important to me and part of my worldly experience is like different cuisines. So part of my traveling is looking up a whole bunch of different restaurants and such that I can go to. And most places I've been to so far have been fairly okay with it. Like when I went to California, it was obviously pretty fine.
Right.
And when I went to Hawaii, it was also surprisingly fine. Yeah. But like when I went to the Philippines, it was kind of harder. And now going to Japan, where like I think there's a lot of like fish and a lot of the things they use. I'm not too sure. Haven't done as much research on it yet. But also having the language barrier as well might make it a bit more difficult to figure it out. But
I could.
I thankfully have friends who live in Japan that are vegetarian. So I'll hopefully have some sort of
I was
advice.
gonna get because I'm a little nervous. Not that I'm not gonna be able to find food options, but just because of the language barrier that I might eat something that I am allergic to. So I was gonna get like my friend who speaks Japanese to write me like a little card like that says like in Japanese like I'm allergic to like red meat, so like no pork or beef, you know, like of any kind in my food. Like just to have in case I come across a situation where language barrier is really difficult to overcome and there's no misunderstanding.
Yeah.
A little
you could jump on
card.
Duolingo.
Yeah, but I need specifically to be able to say, don't feed me this or I'll die.
Yeah. I've admittedly only learned like a handful of food related things so far. I can tell you rice, green tea, cake, and curry in Japanese.
Yeah.
none of which is specific to
That's what
red
I'm.
meat.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I'm. Rice. You can eat rice, right?
Yeah, I can eat
Right?
rice.
Yeah.
As a Filipino, that
Yeah.
is very exciting.
Yeah, maybe a little card.
But no, the card idea is a
Yeah, I
very
think so
useful idea.
because like it's it's my responsibility to make sure I don't eat these things and that I have a way to communicate this through a language barrier. So I was thinking about just getting a little card made that I can give to people at restaurants just to make it clear. Because also if I rely on me trying to like learn how to say something and my pronunciation is who knows, I don't just feel safer.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, is there anything else we need to talk about besides whatever we've been talking about for the past hour?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any specific talking points that I had planned. I know my friend mentioned some other ones, but realistically, I've forgotten about them already. So no, I don't think so. Yeah, just that World is coming up. That's exciting.
It is exciting.
We possibly have a guest planned for next week, which is kind of exciting. That I haven't talked to you about yet.
Great. I'm super excited for them. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Get excited, everyone. We might have a guest next week. Who knows?
We didn't put out a post for listener questions. I forgot to do that. So I think that's all we have.
No. Yeah, we can pretend all the questions today were like,
yeah, what do you dream about?
And what are your allergies?
Show me your nails. What's your morning routine?
How much you spend on Fab in a week?
Oh goodness, it's fun. I always enjoy sitting down and talking to you. So.
But yes. Okay. Well, on that note, I guess that is a goodbye for now. I'm just kind of watching what you're doing.
Gen Zers do their hearts.
I don't know. I watch too much K-pop, so for me, a heart is this.
It doesn't matter.
But there was like that one.
I think like the young people do like.
If I tried to be more young than I already act, I think my girlfriend would give me more shit than she already does.
That.
So.
It feels really wrong.
Right.
Anyway.
It looks like a thing.
Anyway.
But yes, on that note, goodbye, listeners. Thank you all for joining us today for our conversations, our rambles. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully with a guest. And with that being said... Oh, do we need to like talk about our socials? Yeah, of course. If you want to follow us, you can too. On Twitter, currently known as X. You can find us, the pod, at PitchPerfectFab. You can find me personally at Kiki_LA93, and you can find Elaine at
Ham on tree. Ham on tree, like bacon on bush, pork on shrubbery. 3 words. Ham on tree.
That's one of my favorite things. But yes. So on that note, goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next week.